Hello. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing?
Sara Salungguhit Verlind has deemed it necessary to water the cat.
I have water. I actually have water.
Oh my god, hot damn, look at her. She's a cat. Oh god, wow. Oh god, bless.
Sarah! Congratulations on being boot champ today. Congratulations. Hello, how's everybody been doing? It's been a while. I know I just did that IRL stream at Amera Vespa, but it's been a while because I didn't get the stream all week last week because the weather was just eating my internet wires and baking them alive. The internet was baking my wires alive and making my internet crawl. It was the weirdest thing. I couldn't even get on Discord. I had to basically hotspot from my IRL kit internet modem and then use my laptop to be able to do my work. Everything. Yeah, the cat lives. I'm here. I'm crunchy though. I'm so crunchy. Like, it hurts to curl my fingies. It hurts to curl my fingies. It hurts to, like, move my armies. It hurts to move my leggies. And I feel like I have imploded sausage fingers or whatever. Tired but good. Hope that went well. Sorry, slept in. No worries. No worries. I knew it had high potential of being a scuff stream because I wasn't sure how my IRL setup was going to be. It feels like my IRL setup just keeps having issues one after the other. I think right now the current issue is that I guess internet is in high demand. For whatever reason, my auto scene switching wasn't working, so it just kept cutting off. Question mark. It kept cutting off, but that's fine. As long as the stream itself didn't die. Question mark. I just wish there was something funny for you guys to look at while stream was dying. Awa. Did you get a full night's sleep? I think I did. I think I ended up falling asleep on the couch at 11 and then getting up and like going to sleep on my bed and going eepies big mega tired. I was big mega tired, but thankfully I don't think I woke up early because I know when I was there I was waking up early-ish. It seems that anytime I travel I wake up early-ish. Also, I think I solved the mystery of the crazy bug bites that I was having because I thought so I had some really crazy bug bites that I was experiencing and like I thought it was from home. But apparently it was when I was in Chicago because I was just like apparently according to Bell, like I had called him at one point in time and I told them like after having one night's sleep there, I was just like I got a bug bite. Apparently I told him that I got a bug bite and it was the one that was like behind my knee. And I guess subsequently I perpetually kept having more bug bites each night that I was staying in that Chicago hotel. So that Chicago hotel was eating me alive. It must have been, according to you guys, probably bed bugs. I was getting eaten alive by bed bugs. I didn't check the beds. I didn't. So I have bug bite. Bed bug, bed bug, big, big, bud, bug, bed bug, bite. Do I gotta log in to kick? Stretching and more water. All the more water. I do need more water. All the more water. I do. Okay. How do I do this? Delete? Do I just delete? They go away. They go away. Howdy! Why did you trigger? I didn't say my name. I didn't say my name. Let me see. Crunch that cat? I was so crunchy. You remember Illinois will do that? With the bed bugs? Is there a lot of bed bugs? If you think you get them at home, run your bed sheets and clothing in the dryer at high heat for like 40 minutes or more. Yeah, I did wash all my sheets and did toasty dryers for them. I did do that. Mod actions? Show quick actions.
Sara Salungguhit Verlind has deemed
Holy
it necessary to water the cat.
I can show the quick actions. Head up. Head up. What does this button do? Oh. Okay. Anyway. Why did that trigger? Howdy. It's me again. Hello. It's me. There's a lot of things that happen that I haven't been able to catch you up on. And I know I'm streaming early today because I was originally supposed to hang out with peeps, but the tea room evacuated. Everybody was gone. I went and I went to go take a shower because it was hot, and then I come back and everybody was gone. So there was no fortnight, and I'm like, well, I might as well be productive and be the different kind of productive. So I am here. Whoopee! Earlier stream. What is this? You're normally in the shower when you start. This is early. This is early. This is super early. Maybe you can Fortnite in the tea room in the summer more. Maybe. Is it not summer already? Is it not considered summer like this very moment? You had a quick trip to Oregon? Did you really? Like today? Like today? It is. It is summer. It was summer this morning. Hey! That's my alarm telling me! That's my alarm telling me I should stop being a workaholic. That. Yeah. Well, let me think. Well, so not last weekend, but the weekend before last, I went on to an impromptu camping trip. Very impromptu, because I was feeling like I needed to do something for myself. And I know I really wanted to do my very first camping trip with you guys on a stream, but also I just wasn't really mentally prepared to do that. So I didn't, and I'm so sorry I didn't do that. I was so sorry. I just wanted to just go out into the thing, do the thing. But also at the same time, maybe it's a good thing that I didn't stream it, because like the site wasn't the best. So I did the Elysium, the horse one, and I really thought it would be like a nice field, a nice pasture with horses. Dude, it was like a plot of land, but like it was a plot of land that like isn't taken care of like at all. So the ground was just so uneven. It was like there was so many just like it was just like really uneven land, right? And at the entrance there was a lot of like treads in there from like other vehicles and whatnot. And when I was driving Sasha through it, I was trying to avoid any deep treads. I was trying my best to drive on like the flattest portions that I could possible, but then at one point like I slipped up and I dipped into a huge deep tread, and obviously I'm trying to drive out of it, which caused Sasha's handlebar to like wobble, spin out, and I almost wiped myself out because she just got stuck. Yeah, I almost wiped out. It was so bad. Meanwhile, you have Belle, who's like on his 3-wheeler. He feels nothing. The treads, the ditches, they're nothing to him. They're fine. Oh boy, yeah. The rest is will suck you in. The ruts, yeah. They friggin'. I almost wiped out twice. So like the first one was getting stuck into a tread, and then the other one was the pasture was filled with like nothing but weeds and like thorny whatevers. And at one point, like I got stuck in the weeds, very tall like yellow flower weeds, and I couldn't get off Sasha. I couldn't get my kickstand down. I couldn't get my center stand down, and I was trying to turn the bike to turn around, and the weight and the uneven groundness was causing her to start sinking. Like I was losing my balance, and I had to, with the might of my thighs, brace her up and try to hold her up, but she was already a sinking ship. She was a sinking ship, but I didn't want her to commit to just being flat, right? I held it up as long as possible, and I started screaming for Belle. I'm like, help! Help! She's going down! She's going down! Ammon Bright, hello, thank you so much for the follow. With every level I go stronger. Thank you, thank you. And like, so Belle went and parked his bike. He parked his bike somewhere. He wanted to be like in the thick of the trees or whatever you call them, and like he's just like sauntering over to me, and I'm like, help! Help! I'm like feeling it slip. I'm like, help! Like I really just don't want to drop Sasha. I don't want to drop Sasha. And then he eventually helps. He's just like, which way? Which direction? I'm like, this way, this way, this way. Like I'm like nodding, right? Because I can't lift my arms or anything because I'm trying to support her weight. And at one point he was like lifting in the correct direction. I'm like, yeah, that direction, that direction. And he got confused, and then he started trying to push it the other way, which was the way that it was falling. I'm like, no! And he helped me lift it up. And then I'm just like, dude, where am I going? And he's like straight over there. And I'm like looking at the ground. I'm like, dude, I don't know about this. Like everything is so rough. And he's just like, he had to basically hold on to the back of Sasha and keep her stabilized while I drove so that she didn't like wobble from side to side. And so if you can imagine just me driving over like thick bumpy ground and like tall yellow weed flowers, and then him holding on to like the top case of Sasha and just running after Sasha. That was the scene there. Where am I? On a technically level, it's when the solstice is. Weather feels like summer though. It is really hot right now. You're still a substitute teacher for the next week? Ah, I see. It's not done yet. We in ultra mega summer is really hot. Ooh, I know. I think I checked what the weather was like over there in in Sin City. And it was like, oh, it's 100 and something degrees. I'm like, oh, hot damn. Thank God I'm not there. That's fine. It's better that you had a more relaxing time. It was an experience. It was as if I decided to camp during the hottest weekend, because the sun was unbearable. It was really hot. Hi, Dinah. How are you? Becca got the ADV bike light enduro experience. But keeping in mind, Sasha still has her city tires. She has no like treads. That's what the dividers and tires are called, right? Treads. She has no treads. Like she is smooth like a baby's bottom. She's still using her default stock city tires, commuter tires. She's got no traction on her. Get a sidecar to add a third wheel. I should, but also, I don't know. I don't know. Sounds like huge bulkiness I'd have to learn how to handle and maneuver. The amount of fan art, the phrase, by the might of my thighs will spawn. The friggin' my thighs were trying their damnedest to keep her up. 2 weeks you're at the school classes all this week and a few different in the last. Ah, okay. Was learning things. I was learning things! Hi Shadow, how are you doing? Nobbies on bikes. They're called Nobbies on bikes. Yeah, that's the only brand that I keep hearing about in terms of like applicable tires for Sasha. Is little Nobbies. I haven't checked how much Nobbies cost, but like if I ever want to do that BDR experience, like the back road thing, I would definitely need to get Nobbies for Sasha. I really do. I want to get little Nobbies for Sasha and then like record the entire experience. I'm doing good. I've just been, you know, one thing after the other, one event after the other. Time goes by really fast. There's a lot of things going on. I just came back from a trip, and then now I'm going to be going to another trip by the end of the week. And then
Sara sa lungguhit Verlin
think I
has
have another
deemed it
one.
necessary to water the cat.
I have another trip coming up like first week of July as well. So there's that. Let me see. Hi Gonzalez, how are you? You went out off-road with ill-suited tires. I didn't think it would be that bad. I wasn't expecting it to be like that off-road bad, right? I was expecting like a nice pasture. A nice like modest pasture, not like Weeds Pavilion, okay? I wasn't expecting Weeds Pavilion RS. Or off-road tires for street legal as well. Are they? But I would run down the treads if I just casually rode the off-roading tires on the street, wouldn't I? You saw someone ride their scooter on the sidewalk the other day. You were like, is that legal? Depends on if it's electric, I guess. But technically it's not legal if it's a motorized vehicle. No, not really. No. If it's like electric, you might be able to reason that it's legal on the sidewalk. Might be, but like, no. Changes the handling though for the off-road tires. Yeah. They're more sticky, more gritty. And let me think, what else? There were horses there and goats there. And the goats were kind of funny because, like, I brought carrots because I read reviews that other people were feeding the horses, like, apples and carrots and stuff. So I bought a bag of carrots to feed the horses. These were medium-sized horses, I think. Because they were pretty big, but they felt like they were about like as tall as me, just like a head taller than me, and I fed them the carrots, and it's kind of funny because they like nomsh on your hands, and they're like, but also like they gum your hand. But at least I'm so grateful at the fact that like when they bite on your hand, they know that it's not carrot, and so they don't bite on it. Does that make sense? Like, they know that is not carrot, and they don't bite on it. They, like, nibble, they feel it's soft, and they're like, no. Nope. Noshing on my hand. Did you pet the goats? I petted one of the brown goats. There was a brown goat, and then the other ones were, like, white with brown spots. And I petted the brown goat, because that one kind of would always walk up to me and just stand there. But, like, it wasn't active. It would just stand there. And it had, like, the mood of, like, Despresso Espresso. It was just kind of, like, sad, it felt like. That's what it felt like to me. And then the other ones were really active, and I tried to feed them carrots, but I think the carrots were too big for them because they would, like, bite on it because they wanted it and then just drop it because it was too big or too hard. And then they went and they started noshing on the tree leaves and whatnot. And then there was a goat that was actually injured, and I messaged the owner about it. So I stayed at like some person's like farmland, right? I messaged. I'm like, hey, one of the goats was injured. It was like limping all over the place, and it constantly like kneeled in order to like exist. And I couldn't get a clear picture, and I didn't get close to the goat because I know injured animals are kind of like unpredictable. So it kind of looks like their right front hoof was swollen, and there may have been something sticking out of it or something. And they were like, oh yeah, that's Annabelle, and they were saying like, yeah, she's being treated, blah 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 blah, and it's taking a while, and yada yada, and they check on her like every day. I'm like, okay, as long as you're aware. So then I didn't really get to play with the goats too much, because they just kind of chilled at the front, and I mostly hung out with the horse. I would go out and try to find the horses, but none of the animals like harassed me. I'm kind of sad about that. A lot of the reviews were like, don't come here unless you love horses. Don't come here unless you like animals. These horses are just so friendly, and they're so snoopy. They come around your like tent, and like when you come in, they get up in your business, and they're super curious as to like what you're doing. None of the animals did that. The horses didn't do that. They weren't interested. I think they're not used to motorbikes, so I think they were kind of apprehensive about the bikes. They were a little bit skittish around them, so they kind of stayed away. Goats can be mean. Yeah, goats can be mean. So I stayed away from them the moment I saw one of them was injured. Smart horse. Becco, where's the overt affection from the creatures? I wasn't harassed enough. That would be my only review. I think I mentioned it in the review. I wasn't harassed enough by the animals. They're not used to motorbikes. Sag face. was an okay first experience. I fed horses. Yay. Becco is not too popular, it seems. What do you mean? Dude, the one horse, like, I got Carrot and I like lured the horse to the campsite. Thankfully it was like on the last day. I lured the horse to the campsite, and it just kind of like meandered around the campsite and then took a big fat dump right next to us. I was just like, why? Thanks for the present. No, I know. It was so bad. It's like, what the frick? Thank God it was like on the last day. Animals not cuddly enough. Animals were not cuddly enough. Didn't harass the humans enough. I wanted this horse to be sniffing and snooping my tent, and was it waking me up in the middle of the night because he's going or whatever horse noises do. I wanted him to be like harassing me all throughout the night, so I could be like, creatures of the night. And then I started pondering like how horses sleep, and like where they sleep, and what time they wake up. What is the sleep schedule of a horse? Becca's Yelp review: animals didn't harass me. 2 stars. I was promised animal harassment. Where? Horses just poop wherever they do, just poop forever. But it made me regret luring him to my campsite. I'm like, you know what? Never mind. Hi, Al. How are you doing? I'm doing a recap of like some of my recent experiences, my recent adventures, because I had a couple. I did, for the first night, I was trying to figure out food. Right? And, like, I didn't have a cooler or a thingamajig. I kind of wish I had done car camping, now that I think about it. Because then I would have had access to a cooler. Because it was really hot. It was so hot. It was super duper hot. And I didn't have a tarp per se. I had the vestibule, but because there wasn't like suitable shade, it still got knucking hot in that tarp. It got knucking hot in my tent vestibule system, right? Ugh. And then I got sunburn on my chest, and it looked like I was wearing a red bib. And I'm at the stage right now where my skin is peeling. I need to get some pumice rock and like grind my chest to get all the skin off. Not really. It just kind of rubs right off. I'm exaggerating. It just kind of rubs off. You've seen guys pop wheelies next to horses, and the jockeys would pop horse wheelies in response. It was cool. Horses can wheelies? They can is it just the what do you call it? Is it just the like they prop up and they go nay and they like stand in their like basically what I'm asking is, can horses pop wheelies and move forward? Because I only know of the like when they stand on their hind legs and they go right, and then they land and then they continue trotting. But can they post up on their hind legs and also mobilize forward while only on two legs? Hi guys, you don't do well in the heat. I don't do well in the heat either. I graciously dislike the heat, which is why I feel like I would be more preference for like fall/winter camping ish. But also, strangely enough, so like my first night was miserable. So I was trying out some of my new camping gear, right? So I went and I got a down sleeping bag. Because we were discussing that if I wanted to have something super light and compact for moto camping, it would have to be a down sleeping bag. And so after much consideration, I acquired a down sleeping bag. And the guy did mention that with down sleeping bags, they're really effective. However, if they get wet, they lose their effectiveness, right? Whereas synthetic, if they get wet, it doesn't really matter too much, right? Supposedly. Depends on how wet it gets. And so, my first night, I was anguishly miserable. I was so cold. I was warm when I went to sleep. But what happened was, throughout the night, I think it was like in the middle of the night, sometime within like the really, really late night, really early morning, dew started forming. The morning dew. I started getting accosted by the morning dew. Hello, Bendy Hug. Hello. Thank you so much for the follow. With every level, I grow stronger. Thank you. How are you doing? I'm just talking about camping right now. The morning dew started collecting up all over the place, and I don't know if it just started collecting up on the sleeping bag itself, or it started collecting up on the tent, and I'm like rubbing against the tent and getting the moisture on my sleeping bag. But it was really cold. I started freezing really badly. It hurt so badly. I was curling up so hard. I've never curled up as hard as I had that night. I didn't think I could get so squished and tiny inside of a sleeping bag is how hard I was curling up, and it still was painful, and it still was like unbearably cold. Like I was thinking to myself, like, I'm gonna die tonight. I'm like I just gotta live through this. You know, I don't know what else to do. But in my head, I was also thinking, I'm like, I didn't think I would need it, but I'm grateful that I brought it. I also bought like a thermal liner for the sleeping bag. Because I also had in my mind, like, you know, someday I want to go like winter camping, right? So I didn't think I would need it because it's like in the middle of the summer, but I thankfully brought it with me anyway because I was trying to test out what packing like all of the gear would be like. So I conveniently had it with me, but I didn't set it up for the first night because I didn't think I would need it. And I was just so miserable. I was so cold. It was awful. And I was thinking to myself, like, I have that thermal liner. I could use it for tomorrow night. I just need to survive this night, right? Because I was too tired. I'm blind. It's pitch black darkness. I can't. I'm just like, I don't know where the thermal liner is right now. I just need to suffer through tonight, and then I'll situate it the next night. But I couldn't do that. I was suffering so bad that I couldn't withstand the rest of the night, and I had such miserable sleep. I eventually did, like, kind of sit up and try to, like, blindly rummage through my bag to find the thermal liner. I don't even know what the thermal liner looks like or how to use it, but I just, like, kind of grabbed it, ripped it open, and, like, unrolled it. Like, I just, like, sucked it into my sleeping bag while I was inside of it and tried to, like, figure out how to unroll it and how to use it in the dark, and just kind of, like, slipped myself right in there, and then I was fine. Like, the moment I put the liner on, I was, like, immediately fine. I was no longer freezing. And then I knocked out. It was, like, almost instantaneous. And I'm like, God damn, this liner is quite effective. This is a very effective liner. Let me see. Basically, and well-trained ones can walk like that. Yes, very hard to teach, so it's rare to see. Oh. I imagine it being rare to see because they're such big creatures, right? That's a lot of weight they have to be able to support. Hello. Does your tent not have a dew liner? What is a dew liner? What's a dew liner? Hi, Sleepy. How are you doing? Hello, Cooks. Hello, hello. Where the hell were you, Alaska? No. I was just somewhere out in the middle of the boonies. On a horse plot, on a horse, I don't even know what you call it, just a plot of land that has like 5 horses and 4 goats, or 5 goats. I don't know how many goats. Should have just moved the fire inside the tent. There was no fire. It's dangerous to go to sleep with a live active fire. There was no fire. No fire. Trust me, you always need it. Yeah. Thankfully, it's part of my kit. I have a bag that I put both the sleeping bag and the liner in. Which reminds me, I actually need to get my sleeping bag and unroll it. Like, I need to take it out of the bag. Because they said that when you're not using it, you have to hang up the sleeping bag. So that it doesn't, like, get super compressed. So, like, when not in use, you have to, like, hang it. Like a curtain or something. You have to hang it on a curtain so that it always stays fluffy. So I need to go get that. I'll do that. Liner can add 10 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit of comfort. Yeah, I was trying to look what the temperature range was. I got the hottest liner that I could find. Like, the hottest. They had a couple different levels. They had, like, oh, toasty, warm, extreme. I got the extreme one for my liner. Because once again, I was thinking in my brain that someday I would like to do winter camping. And I, in my brain, was thinking maybe that would suffice. That would suffice. That'd be enough. A dew liner is a second layer of tent to help keep dew out like a thermos. Is that like the, what do you call it? Is that the layer on top? Like it's like called the rainfly. Is that the rainfly? Is that the rainfly? Because I considered I didn't use the rainfly. I set up the tent, got to the part with the rainfly, and I'm just like, it's super warm. I won't need the rainfly, and it's not going to rain. I'll just use the mesh. The bare minimum of the mesh. So is that my fault? Do you not just use the mesh tent as it is? You always have to use the rainfly? I thought the rainfly was only just for when it rains. Is there other intended purposes for the rainfly other than rain? Oh. Go. Becca was essentially camping on old McDonald's farm, pretty much a ranch. It was kind of a ranch, but not really a ranch. It was just a pasture. There was no actual like farm or barn or anything. And wash it, stinky pants. I don't know how to wash down sleeping bag. How does one wash that? Lofting down bags is super important. Yeah, I need to do that. I was busy with Amara Vespa that I didn't get to do that. The rain fly. I didn't use the rain fly because I thought it was only intended for rain. Hi Neko, how are you doing? On some yes. Boy, everybody's reaction. The cat, Becca, why? That's also why you froze, because I just did the mesh tent. I thought, hey, it's kind of nice outside. You know, the nice mesh tent allows you to see the sky and the moon. Also, by the way, the moon in the outdoors is nucking bright. I was thinking to myself, God damn, somebody turn out the moon. It's so bright. It's so nucking bright. It's pretty though. Don't turn out the moon. But I was just thinking to myself, God damn, the moon is so bright. Always use the rainfly. You know where you are. Never trust the... Well, now I know. Next time I should use the rainfly. It's your insulation. Meanwhile, Nucking Bell was fine. I was suffering and Belle was nucking fine. At one point, I actually was terrified for Belle. So, like, Belle has a different sleeping bag. He has a synthetic sleeping bag. He has a synthetic sleeping bag that is, like, rated for, I think it was, like, negative... was it, like, negative... Hold on. Let me actually take a look, so that I could give you like proper deets. What is his bag? I don't know how to read this. So I told you before, I don't know how to read sleeping bag stuff. Okay, so his bougie arse has a synthetic sleeping bag that's rated for 20 degrees Fahrenheit. It's rated for 20 degrees Fahrenheit. My sleeping bag... Where does it say? Does it say what's mine rated for? Mine's also rated for 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Let me look at his again. So yeah, his is rated for 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Mine is rated for 20 degrees Fahrenheit. We both have 20 degrees Fahrenheit. The only difference is mine was a down sleeping bag and his was a synthetic polyester sleeping bag. So like his was super puffy and thick. And so additionally, so we both had cots, but I didn't have a sleeping pad. That's another thing. I didn't have a sleeping pad. I tried a sleeping pad. I got a sleeping pad, but I was uncomfortable on it because I got like the tiniest sleeping pad that I could, which was like a mummy style. I got a sleeping style. Sorry, a mummy style, and it was just super tiny, and I kept rolling off of it, so I just didn't like it. It wasn't worth it. I was more comfortable sleeping directly on the cot, which I know, they as they've said, is like more airflow underneath, and so like, it's just colder that way? Question mark. But he had a sleeping pad. He had like one of those thick boys, X-Ped sleeping pads. That basically is like a bed. He nucking had a bed, okay? And at one point, like on the first night, I think I saw him like turtle into his sleeping bag. Like he just kind of like, he was sleeping like normal, and then he just like turtled his head inside the sleeping bag, right? So you couldn't see him anymore. He was just inside his sleeping bag. And I was suffering, dying, and I'm just like looking over and I'm like, I wonder if he's dying and suffering too. And at one point in time, I was like looking at his sleeping bag and I was kind of getting scared because it wasn't moving. And I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, is he dead? Is he dead? I'm like, is the phrase killing him? What if turtling into his sleeping bag's a bad idea? What if he inadvertently suffocated himself? I was kind of scared that him turtling into his own sleeping bag inadvertently suffocated him in his sleep, right? I thought he died throughout the night. I thought he died. So like, I think in the morning, I did poke him and prod him, and he did like wiggle a little bit. So at least I knew he was alive. I was glad he lived. It's also a sunshade. It still was really hot even with the like tent thingy. Rainfly can block the wind chill. It wasn't windy though. At least I don't think so. It wasn't windy. It just existed as cold. Yes, it is. Belle having a great time while Becca was dying. I was dying. Sleeping bag rating equals it will be super uncomfortable, but you probably won't die. There's different ratings, I think. I think there's like more detailed ratings. Where do I see more detailed ratings? Okay, so you guys might understand this a little bit more if I read this out to you. Okay. So his sleeping bag, let me see. His lower limit is 20 degrees Fahrenheit. His comfort is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So the temperature rating is 20 degrees. My sleeping bag is tested lower limit is 21 degrees Fahrenheit. Tested comfort 31 degrees Fahrenheit. So they're like the same. They're pretty much the same. But for whatever reason, I was suffering. I don't know if it's because my sleeping bag started getting wet from the morning dew. I think it was just from the morning dew. Because he did say, like, with down sleeping bags, if it so happens to get wet, it fails. The functionality fails. Utterly. Yummy rock hard ground. Belle enjoying his vacation, living life, having fun. Becco fighting for her life, suffering turmoil, and the consequences of her inaction, scorched by the sun. Technically, Belle also got a sunburn. His head and his arms got sunburned. I had sunscreen, and I used the sunscreen on my arms, and I think a little bit on my face, but like, I forgot that my chest existed, like from like my neck and like to the top of my tank top. I just kind of forgot. I'm so used to like not having to worry about that. You have a sleeping bag rated for negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit. I forgot what was how heavy is it though? How thickums is it? Go mummy shaped pads can go inside. I didn't realize that, and I'm kind of sad about that. That I could have put it inside of the sleeping bag. I didn't know that I could put it inside the sleeping bag. Otherwise, I would have kept it. I returned it. I already returned the Nugging sleeping pad. Otherwise, I would have kept it and shoved it into the Nugging sleeping bag. I would have tried that. I didn't know. I returned it. Now I have to wait. I have to wait for another sale. Yours
what
is...
What the fuck are you talking about?
Who did that? Fuck you, Kaiju. Thank you very much. I'm so sorry. But fuck you. Let me see. Yours is rated for 60 degrees Fahrenheit. You just wear your cold weather gear in it. Oh, yours is really thin then. Yours must be thin. Rip Belle. Belle had a great weekend. Came home. Bought a motorcycle. Where's my numbers? Who did this? This knucking guy who doesn't have a motorcycle license buys a motorcycle because he has what's it? He got envious. He got envious of me going to Amera Vespa. So he decided to go check out motorcycles and ended up taking one home. This knucking guy. Don't forget when humans sleep, body temperature drops as well. I actually feel like I get hot when I sleep. I'm that person that always has to stick their foot out to regulate my temperature. Did you get sunburn easy? Not really, which is why this was so surprising. Your sleeping bag is thick. I imagine it must be thick to be able to cover that temperature. What a bad boy. Thing has like 90 some HP as well. I don't know what that means, but I can imagine it's probably stupid, knucking powerful. Some sort of horsepower he will never ever use. Never ever use. I will say, oh my god, wrong faces. I will say that after doing the event, some parts of me kind of wants to someday, like obviously I knew this would happen. I knew this would happen. Some parts of me is like, you know, thinking about eventually I'm gonna have to upgrade to 300 so that I can be able to like keep up with everybody or do certain things on the road, to just kind of like keep pace or whatever. A lot of people at Amera Vespa had 300s. A lot of people had 300s. They weren't going like super stupid fast or anything. But it's just one of those things where just like that slight extra oomph in power would definitely help when going on some roads. You know, my top speeds are like 60. Right, my top speeds are 60s, which is fine for the back roads, but there are some back roads where like if the speed limit is 60, but it happens to be on an incline and Sasha is like encumbered with a crap ton of weight because I'm like traveling with a bunch of gear, she tanks hard and her top speed could end up being like 45 on an incline, right? So like having the extra oomph and power would definitely help me in those scenarios. You have a motorcycle, but you don't have a motorcycle license? Knuckle! Go get your license. Don't ride dirty. What the heck? Go get your license. Sleep temp can go up if you eat and are digesting. I did eat. I did eat. Why was I not digesting well enough? He has 2 road bikes. Literally needs a license to ride them. Literally needs a license. Literally needs a license. Has had like very little to none motorcycle experience. 150 is a good bit of power. It is a good bit of power. I'm quite happy with Sasha. There are just some instances like what I just described where sometimes having the extra bit of power could be beneficial, especially when you have cars that speed well above the speed limit and ride your butt and want to run you over, you know? You've never ridden yours? Still restoring it? Okay. Okay. Keep up with everyone, she says. What she means is you're going to race you, vroom. No. No. You mean slow race? Which I lost. Sasha's also a hardy girl, so a 300 would be good. Yeah. Sasha's pretty good. I don't imagine I would need to upgrade for a while, right? Because I'm still trying to like spritz up Sasha to be like her own personality, to have her be her own being, you know. I've painted her top case. I'm trying to figure out what next. I didn't want to add saddlebags. Because some guy was saying that he wanted like he's also a moto camper, and he said that the benefit of scooters or bikes in general is that they have the slim profile to be able to weave through things, let's say like weave through traffic or whatever, and he didn't want to like add to that width. He wanted to keep that slim profile. And after he said that, I'm just like, you know what, he's so right. So like I don't want to add saddlebags to Sasha because of that, and I'm trying to keep her of slim profile, but part of me wants to play around with saddlebags just to see how that would be like. So I think that's like my next thing, is just trying to see what saddlebags would be like, but ultimately I kind of want to keep her slim profile as well. And I'm trying to think what else can I probably do to Sasha right now. I think she's mostly kitted out, really. I think anything else is like purely aesthetic. Like if I wanted to be a massive nerd and have like a huge back seat, like backseat thingy, like the Yakuza bikers that have the large backseat rest. I don't know how to get those. That I'm just spitting out random things. I think the next thing I would think about would be like a windshield, to see if that helps with the wind, because the wind really does beat down on you when you're riding. But like if I did get a windshield, I kind of would want to customize the windshield to be in the shape of a cat head. I've seen other bikers have the like a cat shaped windshield, and I want to know how to get that. Where can I get this cat windshield? And or do I have to just make it myself? And or I need to figure out the process of cutting this what is it, plexiglass or something? I have something for me to think about, something for me to consider. Titanium valve train, forged pistons, forged rods, race bearing, and a wet nitrous system. Which one is that? After hearing you, now you see why Archie goes full send now. Why? He doesn't need to go that fast. He's using city streets. What? His speed limit should be like 35, 45 at most. There's no reason for him to top out on his speeds. If I'm going like the back roads between regions, which are like 55 to like 60 or something. Actually, no, the max is like 55. The max is like 55 for the back roads. That's like, he does not need to go full send if he's staying in the city.
Ads are dropping in 2 minutes.
Or just put a big bore kit on her and upgrade the motor, squeeze more power out of her, and you might not need a 300. That actually is another option, but I probably won't get that done until after her warranty ends. I think she either has another year until her warranty ends, before I can do the big boy kit. Which I think they said would up her from 150. She could get up to, I think it was like 190 was how high she could go. I think anything higher than 190, then she would need whatever cooling system is required for anything higher, because right now she's still just air cooled or whatever. She's air cooled. Becca is a crazy squid that needs more what is this? Her spurs to pop some mega dank nooners? What the frick? You called me a squid! If anything, shouldn't Belle be a squid? He doesn't even have a license. You're late? Quick, start from the beginning. Hi, Atheist Paladin. You're not late. I'm actually early. I'm technically early. The ads will be running. Get a sidecar. I don't know where to get a sidecar. If it's motorized vehicle, it does need to go fast. That's the whole point. How fast is fast? How fast are we talking? Cat-shaped windshield and repaint Sasha to purple. Perfect. I won't repaint Sasha to purple because she's a discontinued colored way. She's discontinued. I don't want to change that. She's special. She was birthed special. She was birthed in special. If she was a generic color like yellow, red, black, or anything like that, white, then I would color her, which will most likely happen whenever, if ever / whenever I do upgrade to a 300. There haven't been any special colorways for the 300s. All of the colors are knucking ugly. Okay, all of the colors are like orange, beige, brown. Like they're all weird knucking colors that are just like too bland and normal and basic. So if I ever upgraded to a 300, you bet your butt I'm customizing that. Hello. Hi, Archie. His ears must have been bleeding. I was just talking about him. Ow! Thick. You mainly ride a Coleman mini bike.
ADSR running for 180 seconds.
No suspension. You full send it on narrow trails. Ah! Hello. Hi. Becca the squid. Squid. Most sidecars are custom? Oh, I didn't realize that. Huh. I wonder where one can get a custom one then. Put Bell in the sidecar? He wouldn't stand for it. I would need to get a scooter dog or something. Too fast is the perfect amount of fast. Sometimes it can be pretty scary. I wouldn't trust like super fast speeds on like a cheap plastic scooter. Thank God Vespas are made out of metal. You know what I mean? Thank God Vespas are like weighted and kind of hardy. I know some like Chinese scooters that are like made out of plastic, like the Buddy scooters. The Buddy scooters come in all sorts of colors. Out. They come in purple. Like I think that's what Archie was showing me. They had a purple Buddy 125 scooter. I'm trying to think. Is it the 125? Is it only 125 or is it bigger than 125? Or is it 175? I don't know. It's a little bit bigger. I think it's the 125. And it comes in purple. But it's also plastic. So that'd be kind of terrifying. Because the whole body kind of shakes. You ride your SSR 125 medium pit in second gear on single track trails, fourth on long roads. Becco, is she a squid or a kid? She's never played Splatoon, so we'll never know. I have never played Splatoon. I've never. Ow! How fast have you ever been and still felt in control? Probably, I think Sasha was able to go as fast as like 70 going downhill. If it's a straight, if you're just driving straight, you can be in control. Ow. If you're just driving straight, you can be in control. If you're making turns though, you definitely need to slow down. I don't care what you think. There was one turn where I actually felt like I was going a little bit too fast. And I kind of like stress brake. I did a hard stress brake doing that turn because I definitely was going too fast. We saw a 175. Yeah, I originally thought that I was gonna have to get a 175. I thought the Buddy scooter was what I was gonna need to get in order to meet my in order to meet my speed demands. I thought I was gonna need to get the 175. But I did watch a lot of reviews on the 175 and people were saying that the plastic frame is kind of terrifying with how fast it goes, because the 175 obviously can go really fast. Ow! What? The knuck, Archie! The frig! I forgot. You forgot to take you there? Take me there. Take me where? I did see a purple scooter. I did see a purple scooter. You did show me. Maybe 73 going downhill with tailwind? Yeah, sounds about right. You saw a scooter engine swapped with a Beta 450 RR's engine? It was a rocket? Yeah. Guh. The stores with the buddies in person. No, I think I saw one. Didn't we not see one? I feel like we still saw one. We still saw one. We passed by one. Fastest you ever gone was in your old bare bones truck, 115 miles per hour. Fastest you've gone on a bike was 72 on a friend's modded Coleman mini bike. Yeah, going downhill on the straight road. I think I went 70 something. I went 70. It was like downhill. I was letting it roll out. But ow! Emu! Why? Oh my god. But yeah, that was the camping trip. There was a trail nearby that was supposed to go to a river, but like the river was not, like I was hoping it was gonna be on the river edge, but it wasn't the river edge. It was just like there was too much civilization around, and it just went to a walk path that was along the river edge, but like not at the river edge. It was like elevated, and you can look down at the river, and that didn't satisfy me. That didn't fucking satisfy me, Hex. Fuck what? Fuck! Why are you guys all hitting me? Jesus. I hope you appreciate your points. Your dad's KTM.
Sara Salungguhit Berlin has deemed it necessary to water the cat.
Thank you. Your dad's KTM 300 XCW tops out at 95 miles per hour. Downhill would be scary. Yeah, it's a little bit scary. I imagine it's like skiing downhill with no brakes. You don't know what to do with 300k. What else is there? Is there not like other big scale like rewards you could save up for? Save for the free merch. Yeah, is there no big scale like reward or anything? Clark. What was I saying? That was camping. What about you, Archie? You're asking to do the Uwu redeem, but you're juicing up all of your planes. Let me think. Yeah, I think there's nothing else to say about the camping. I got tired. I need to figure out better meal plans still. You're nowhere close to Uwu, but you could be. You could be if you saved up your points. Look at all these necking points. You could be. Let's talk about Amerivespa. We did Amerivespa just last weekend. We did. So the GPS said it was gonna take like 5 hours or something to go to Amerivespa. And we left early in the morning.
Did you know that whenever you French fries on ketchup, taste ketchup fries you? This is because ketchup and taste French fries on ketchup is reference to taste French fries on you taste.
Archie's at 12k. I believe in you. You could do it. Psycho Neko's message just made me think of In-N-Out. I want In-N-Out. Will I ever get In-N-Out? I know I just had In-N-Out like last month. But will there ever be a local In-N-Out? I should have stopped by In-N-Out. No, it's always so knucking busy. Agreed. French fries broke the. You made Becco hungry again. I could always want food. We left. So as I was saying, we left Amerivespa at like 10 o'clock in the morning. We left fairly early. We left 10 o'clock in the morning. And so like we originally were supposed to go with a group with my local scooter group, but they canceled it because not enough people had interest in it, and they ended up going with this other group that went on Wednesday. Unfortunately, both Nira and I didn't have time off for Wednesday, so we couldn't join the Wednesday group going down. So it was just her and I going down Thursday. So it's fine as well because they went at noon, and I think they were all 300cc scooters. So I think they might have taken the freeway. They either did or didn't. They had potential of taking the freeway. And so it was just her and I. We drove down to like where, like we were basically following the route that the went, which was probably not the best idea because driving to their start point probably added an extra hour to us. So like the GPS said it was going to take 5 hours for us to do the drive. And for whatever reason, the drive ended up being 7 hours instead. I don't know what went wrong, what went wrong. All we didn't take any detours. We went to like gas stations that were along the way. Like whenever we saw a gas station along the way, we would just kind of stop and do a filler uppers. And we had like spare, like I had my gas bladder and she had like a spare tank thing. There was enough gas stations that we never were strapped for gas. And I think we only stopped to fill on gas like 3 times or something. But like the GPS promised us 5 hours and it ended up taking 7 hours. I think. Hold on, let me math this out. Yeah, it ended up taking 7 hours because we didn't arrive until like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We only did one stop that was like not essential. We stopped and took a look at the world's largest egg. That was our little touristy scenic thing. And it wasn't even like it took us a long time. We stopped by the gas station, filled up on gas across the street, drove next to this egg, this elevated egg on a sign, took pictures of the egg, took selfie pictures of the egg, and then drove on our merry way. Yeah, egg. Never trust GPS times. It took 7 knucking hours. And so like we arrived and we could have gone for registration. We probably should have, so that we could have gone on like an earlier event on Friday. I don't remember when registration closed. I think registration closes at 5 anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. But like we were just so tired that we just kind of turned in. We ate at a food pod. Food pods are kind of cool. I wish we had food pods because they're kind of cool. I like the food pods. And I think that was about it. We stopped by a comic book store and then we got some boba. And then that was our night. We were tired. We had the eepies. And then on Friday, so there was 3 rides. So the regular schedule of Amerivespa was Wednesday was kind of registration day, so they didn't really have a lot of events. Thursday, they had 3 scheduled rides, which we missed out on since we arrived super mega late. And then on Friday, there was also 3 scheduled rides. Early morning was a ferry ride, another second, so like at 9 o'clock, I think? 8-ish? 8-ish was a morning ferry ride. And 10 o'clock was a mountain ride. And then in the afternoon, the last ride was an island, like a forest island ride. and we were trying to figure out which one we were going to go to. I really wanted to try the ferry ride because I've never ridden on a ferry with Sasha before. And so I was really curious about that. But the problem was we had not done registration yet. We needed to check in. So that alone would have taken us some time. And we would not have made it to the ferry ride. I know I didn't want to do the mountain ride because I didn't want to do any hiking with my platform boots. So the only remaining option was to do the Suvi Forest Island ride, which was fine because that meant we could also go have breakfast with our host. For those that don't know, I stayed at my boss's place. And his wife was home, or his partner was home. And so we had breakfast together. We just talked about things. I complained about stuff. And that was our morning. And then we went there. We checked in. By the time we finished check-in, it was already close to noon. And we had to go to the meetup spot. So the launch point was not at the hotel. It was at this cafe, this like motorcycle cafe. And so we had to get there because I was looking at the GPS. I'm like, it's going to take 30 minutes to get to this moto cafe. And the launch point is at 1 o'clock and it's already 12. So we got to go right now. You returned from Ned. Hello. Boat egg. Never trusted GPS. Let me see. You're having fresh caught walleye for dinner tonight and salmon tomorrow night. Hey, salmon! Yahoo! We arrived at this motorcycle cafe and with this other guy who rode with us from the hotel. We followed him. And we parked at the front road next to this cafe. And we check out the line. There's like 8 other bikes. So we parked and it's like 8 other bikes. And we're like, okay, it's a small group, very modest, cool, chill, cool beans. I told Nero, I'm just like, hey, so I know how these group rides are like, and like when people start getting on their bikes, they take like 3 minutes to get ready, and that's all you get, and then they just kind of go. They don't have any. In my brain, I feel like the way the ride should go is that everybody gets ready, and then whoever's the leader of the ride should go and do like an attendance check of like, hey, is everybody ready? We good to go? We good to go? Like have thumbs up from everybody to make sure that everybody is ready and nobody gets left behind. That's the way I imagine rides should go. But because I imagine it, that means it's not the way rides go. And so I told Nero, I'm just like, so the kickstands up time is, I think it was like 1:30 or something. So I told her, I'm like, at the 15-minute mark, we need to head back to our bikes and start getting ready. Because she and I have like an extensive process of gearing up. Everybody else is probably like helmets on, gloves on, that's it, right? We have an extensive process of we have the extra step of like putting on balaclavas. We put on balaclavas to help with like the wind chill and also to like protect ourselves against like other things and whatnot, like debris and whatnot. So like we have to put our balaclava on, which can be a bit of a process because it doesn't fit right. And then you have to smush the helmet on, and then you put the gloves on, and then I have to like make sure my bike like turns on, make sure that all of my bags and stuff are closed and sealed, turn on our cameras because we record our rides. We have a bit of like, a lot of checks that we have to do. Okay. At the 15-minute mark, as we're heading over to our bikes to try to start getting ready, they go and do a group meeting. They're like, hey, we're gonna go over all of the rules and how things are going, or how this works. They basically just talk about like, hey, we have these blockers, go in a tiered, staggered formation, all things that we already know, but like they're doing it, customary. But I feel like if I were to do things differently, I would have just kind of left that meeting to just start getting ready, because I already know this. I know this stuff. There's blockers, sweepers, you go in a tiered formation, yada yada yada, right? Nero needed to use the restroom. This was the mistake. She needed to go use the restroom. She unfortunately didn't do this sooner. And she would have been fine. However, there was a line of 3 other people that were waiting to use the restroom as well. And so like, we're at our bikes, and she's just like, do we have time for me to like go use the restroom? And the guy that we rode there with, he was just like, oh yeah, you should have plenty of time. They take so long to get ready, to gear up. It's a bit of a process. You've got like 10 minutes. We won't let them, he says these words, we won't let them leave you. So she leaves. She runs inside. Remember these words. Remember these words. I'm sitting on my bike. I'm all geared up. I'm waiting. I'm getting anxious. I'm seeing everybody gear up. I'm like, oh boy. Oh boy. And then everybody, like people start, like the bikes start pulling out. And also another thing I forgot to mention, when we went inside the cafe, we looked out the window, and you know how I mentioned that we arrived and there was like 8 other bikes? Well, around the corner of the cafe, there was an alleyway, and there were more scooters parked out there. So it went from a group of 8 bikes to a group of 30 bikes. Okay? This group ride turned to 30 other bikes. There was a lot of people that were doing this ride. And they were all like pulling out from the alleyway. And I'm looking at this road, this queue in front of me. This long line of scooters that are just like queuing up in the middle of the road, okay? They're on the road. There's no stopping them. They've already started. Nero sees this. She starts running out. She runs out of the cafe because, she sees that they're driving out. She's stressing to put her gear on. She's stressing to put her balaclava on, her helmet. She's still trying to get things situated. The old man that told us that they would wait and that there's no way that they would leave us, he queues up as well. He leaves. He's like, oh, and he just queues up. And I'm sitting there with Nero. She's still trying to get ready. And then the light turns green and they all go. Vroom. And Nero's next to me. She's just apologizing. She's ferociously apologizing. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's fine. Like, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And she gets ready, and we try to drive in the direction that we saw them go, but I have no idea where they're headed because I don't know the area. 1, I don't know the area. 2, I don't have the route that they're taking. I don't have the loop. I don't have the ride. And so I'm just heading in a general direction that they went, hoping that we would be able to catch up with them. And we might have been able to catch up with them if we did some really risky things and do like lane splitting. If we had done lane splitting and like just ferociously and aggressively like driven, we probably could have caught up with them. But because I'm in a new area, I don't know what the rules are. I don't know if lane splitting is legal in that area, and I didn't really feel like pissing people off. But I was kind of stressing because, like, more so for Nero, because Nero, the area that Nero lives, there's no scooter community in her area. If she wants to do group rides, she has to do group rides with like other motorcycles. So she has to deal with getting judged by motorcyclists, right? So I mainly wanted to do the group ride with her because she doesn't really get a lot of like scooter rides. I wanted her to be able to experience scooter rides. I'm fortunate enough that I live right next to the scooter shop, and they host a fair bit of rides, so I could just kind of hop in on any of those and be among scooterists. But she doesn't get that luxury. So I was just really stressing out because I really wanted her to do it. And I was stressing out knowing that she was probably stressing out, thinking that I was upset about missing the ride, but I was more so stressing out for her, right? And I didn't want her to stress out on my behalf. I didn't want her to stress out thinking that like I was miserable or pissed off that we missed the ride. I was more stressed out because I wanted her to be able to experience riding with other scooters. So it was more so for her sake. And so the second mistake that happened was that I didn't pre-plan getting the route. Because as we were driving, I started driving, like we completely lost sight of them. And I started driving in an ambiguous direction, right? I set the GPS to the island that they're supposed to be headed towards, and I'm driving in an ambiguous direction, and I'm just like, I have no idea where the route starts. Even if we get to the island, I don't know what routes they're going on, what roads. And I'm just thinking to myself, this would be so much easier if I knew what the route was, and that way we could try to ambiguously drive to the route itself and do the route and see if we could catch up to them, as opposed to like scouring the whole island to try to figure out where they are. And then it occurred to me that I was just like, oh wait, they did send a route, but it's on an app. It's on a specific app that they used. So then we had to stop on the side of the road, which, you know, made us lose sight of them even more. We stopped on the side of the road. I had to go download this app, right? I downloaded this app. I forgot what it was called. It was like Riders or something like that. I immediately knew this app was janky as heck, and I hated it. Okay, because it was first of all, the GPS was really, really slow and very laggy, so it wasn't accurate to where I currently was at. It was like a bit of a delay, so when I needed to make turns, I had already passed the turn. The second thing was that it doesn't give you directions like Google Maps does. It shows you the route to be able to do the trail that you want to do, but like it doesn't reroute. It doesn't autocorrect. So like if you miss a turn, it doesn't correct itself to try to direct you to a reroute to the route that you want to do. It just goes, oh, okay, well, I guess you're going in this direction. I'll just keep track of where you go, right? It's like, I'll just keep track of where you go. And if you want it to reroute to try to get to the route, the loop you want to do, you have to press the screen. You have to ask it to reroute for you. So every time you miss a turn, you have to tell it, hey, you need to reroute me. You need to tell me where I need to go. And the worst part of it is that I think this app was made specifically for bicycles because it directed me to routes that I couldn't drive through. Like it at one point it drove me to like an area that is not a road, but I drove through it because it had like pavement at some description. And then the second indicator that this was not for motorcycles, this app must have been for bicycles, because at one point it directed me to a flat out dead end, and it was asking me to drive onto the sidewalk to get to the other side of the sidewalk to reach the other side of the road, like the road on the other side of the sidewalk. I was sitting here and I was like, what the frig? It was the dumbest app ever. I hated it so bad. But then eventually we got to the route that everybody was doing, and we kind of did the route by ourselves. It was really pretty. There was a lot of twisty turns. Really pretty route. But yeah, no, that app was dumb. Hi Tolji, how are you doing? Let me catch up with chat here because I was yapping really aggressively. What Was there any scooter-related crime gangs reported in the U.S. this weekend? No. We behaved, for the most part. 1 or 2? Really? What do you mean 1 or 2? Y'alls were just pissing the whole time, huh? No. That's not the reason why it took 7 hours to drive down there. Manual of being a guy pees behind any bush or distant dumpster available. Oh my god, speaking of pissing, can I just say, so during the camping trip, there was no, like, toilet on this plot of land thing. Right? Huh? Huh? No sneeze? Okay. Sure. Anyway, there was no toilet, no lavatory or anything, so you had to dig a hole to do your business. Thankfully, I didn't need to do any number 2s, but obviously, I still had to tinkle. And luckily for me, Nero had convinced me that I should go buy a pea conch, because some of the routes that she's done, she said some of the lavatory piddle stations were just holes in the ground, and some of them were like really nasty and disgusting, and you don't want to crouch over it. So she convinced me to get a pea conch, and I was able to use my pea conch for the first time during that camping trip. So then, like, I would go hide behind a bush, and like, I would go use my pea conch. And it was kind of funny because, like, anytime I would go, Belle would just hear from, like, behind the bushes or the trees. I'd be like, I'm peeing, I'm using my pea. I would just be so excited and proudly proclaim, I'm like, I'm using my pea conch. I peed. I was so excited to pee. Right? I'd be so excited to pee. I had some performance anxiety though, because it feels so weird peeing standing up. It feels weird, and so it was so hard to like pee at first. I'd stand and it felt I'd stand there and it felt wrong, right? It felt wrong, like I was doing something wrong, or I'd mess up. It felt like I was gonna mess up. But then I'd like, when I finally pee, I would pee, and it would be amazing. Is this how you guys feel peeing? Like the fact that you could just pee standing up and you could just direct it anywhere? It's amazing! Wow! Having a pee conch is great. Certified Becco behavior? That's oddly adorable. Friggin', I could just pee and I could point it, and I pointed it into a hole. I could pee in a hole, guys. I could pee in a hole. Is that how excited you guys get peeing in a hole? Or being able to pee anywhere? I'd say the only downside is you guys can whip it out, right? You guys can just unzip your pants and just whip it out and just pee. Unfortunately for the pee conch, I still had to like take my pants down a little bit, at least below my cheeks. Okay, not to get super illustrative or anything. My pants still had to go at least below my cheeks. I can't just unzip and whip it out. Cheeks had to be exposed, but at least I could still stand and pee. So there is that. I know I have to catch up on chat, and I've already like gone on a tangent of a whole different topic that I need to catch up on now. Spoiler, they left them. So that was a freaking lie. It was a lie. We were so left behind. It was a tragedy. Someone like Becco lane splits on you. We're gonna have a real conversation. What do you mean, someone like me? Why? I'd be so polite. I'd give you a sticker. I'd be like, thank you, please, thank you. Wow, you are amazing. Can I get your contact info? You're amazing for lane splitting on me. Thank you so much. Thank you. Can I have another lane split? The stress loop is real. It was so real. Dang. Yo. What about you? You just bored out of your mind? Welcome in. I'm yapping really hard today. So don't mind me. I get backlogged really easily. I'll get to your messages eventually. I'm talking about like the past 2 weekends. The first weekend I went on my very first ever impromptu camping and did camping wrong according to my chat because I didn't have my rain fly and I froze to death. And then I went on a Vespa adventure expo meetup. At least you had fun in the end. Yes. I mean, when you gotta sneeze and then it won't come out. Yeah, friggin' torture. Performance anxiety right there as well. Just like a cat. Ooh woo. Looks at Peaconch. Look what they need to mimic a fraction of our power. It's amazing! The power! The freedom! The freedom to just pee wherever you want! The freaking... It felt weird too, holding the Peaconch, but it was amazing! It was amazing! So real. That's oddly adorable. Certified Beko behavior. Real ones make a smiley face with their pee. You could draw in the ground with it! The simple pleasures. The simple pleasures of having a dick and being able to just whip it out. Casually. Not even need to pull down your pants. You guys don't need to pull down your pants. You guys don't need to show cheeks. Right? You don't need to show cheeks. I unfortunately have to show cheeks. You feel this will be a redacted question? I'm sorry. Do women try to pee standing up? So I've tried before. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. If you try peeing standing up, you run the risk. You'd have to have a wide stance. So if you're a woman and you're trying to pee standing up, you're gonna need a very wide stance, because otherwise what ends up happening is you're basically just gonna pee drizzle down your leg. Okay, it just doesn't work. You need a wide stance to pee as a woman, or to just like kind of crouch wide stance. It just doesn't work, unfortunately. But with the magics of the pee conch, you could pee casually standing up. Not usually a shoulder back activity for You know this cat for a while, so why do you have this playing while you're at work? Why? Why do you listen to me while at work? Beko partial mooning. Ah, no one could see. I was behind a bush. Also, Toji, thank you so much for the follow. With every level, I grow stronger. Thank you, thank you. I don't usually talk about peeing in the woods, by the way. Sorry, this is an uncommon conversation. I don't usually talk about the glories of having a pee conch and talking about pissing standing up. This is just a random glorified moment in my life. We don't need to, but the great one do. Just for the love of the game. Which one? Peeing, making a smiley face? I could draw if I wanted to. I could waggle it around. And then you have to shake it afterwards. After you're done peeing, you have to shake it afterwards. That's real for dicks too, right? You gotta like make sure the pipes are empty. You gotta make sure the pipes are empty. The only downside is you shake to tab. Hey, these paladins! Rub-a-dub-dub, thank you so much for the gifted sub. You're a waylord in the tub. Thank you, thank you. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. We both have to shake it out. But the difference is you shake it and then you guys are done, right? You guys don't really have to, like, wipe your dick. You don't have to, like, tissue paper wipe it or anything. You just kind of shake it and then it's done and then you stuff it back in your pants. But with my pee conch, because I'm like super paranoid, I would pee and then I would bring it back to the campsite and then like wash it. You guys don't need to worry about washing out your dick. I washed out my pee conch after every use. How did the butane heater work out? I didn't use the heater because I didn't think I would need it, so I didn't bring it with me. I didn't bring the heater with me because I didn't think I would need it. And then I froze to death at night. So I didn't bring that tiny box heater that I used to like cook ramen on or something. I didn't bring it. Sad. I could though. pee drizzle down your leg, your knees, your feet. It's disgusting. See, Avi knows. She's tried peeing standing up as a woman. What type of sorcery is that? The pee conch? It's magic. You just came at the wrong time. I know, I'm so sorry. This is your first introduction to me talking about pissing. Fun fact, we have flaps in our underwear to pee without removing them. I know! You have the easy access pocket! Easy access! The easy access hole in your underwear. That's crazy! What the frick? All the, like, easy access? I always say that when I see the frickin' male underwear hole thing. Easy access. I only stream while you're working. I'm sorry. Even during the weekends? Even during the weekends? Of course, the Epispo would know. Hello, Abby. How are you doing? This is funny. Some prefer a wipe if available. But do they have... So that means you have to do the toilet, right? Because urinals don't have toilet paper next to it. Urinals don't have toilet paper. So you have to pee in that stall and then use the toilet paper. You just put it back. Just put it back in. Double tap. Double tap and then you put it back in. A different meaning of the double tap. So if you stood wide stance legs, both sides of the toilet, would the pee go in? There would be no aiming function. Unfortunately, it would probably fan out into a bloody mess. There's no aim function. It's like using a ballistic shotgun that unfortunately has its nozzles like crossed and you can't predict where it's going. I don't think I'll need it. Famous last it was in the middle of the summer. I didn't think I would need the heater unit. This is way funnier than it sounds. Pissing? Trying to describe pissing? Hi, Avi. Yeah, that's the sufferings of not having a nozzle spout to be able to direct your piss. Becca's spray and pray. It's exactly like that. It's spraying and praying and hoping that none gets on you. If your doctor needs a pee sample, you can't see where to aim and some of it lands on your hand. Avi, why don't you just like cup the little nub? Why don't you cup the nub? I mean, I get that. It's stressful because it's like you have to try to aim it in there. But I tend to just like encapsulate the little nub and then pee in the cup. But for me, the problem is over peeing into the cup. So like I can fill the cup pretty fast, and I need to make sure I stop peeing so that I don't overfill the cup. That's my problem. This is why she has a showering emo. Ooh woo. Ooh woo. What the nub? Do you know where you pee out of, Avi? You don't know where it goes? Do you know where you pee out of, Avi? Do you know where... Do you know where the pee comes from? Boy, did you enter in at a time. Hi, Sarah. Pee in autopilot. Yeah, do you ever pee and then you can pee, but like, is it easy for you to stop midstream? It's kind of difficult to stop midstream. You know what I mean? If you just go, you gotta let it go. And it's kind of difficult to stop midstream, and it's a little bit uncomfortable. Becca is too good at pee. You've technically been here the whole time? Bro, the first word you heard was, I bought a pee conch! I don't usually talk about this stuff at all. Toji wasn't even here for the last adult question. The last adult conversation we had. You're not aware of your body? You can't even see it? You can't see it! Have you... Avi, next time you pee, like, just kind of, like, look. Sit down on the toilet spread your legs ever so slightly and just watch your stream. Watch your stream. Not your Twitch stream, the other stream. The stream that you make. And try to see if you can figure out. Try to see if you can guess. But also don't touch it, otherwise you're gonna make a mess. Don't make a mess. It's gonna go all over the place. Sorry for your loss of sanity. So you heard it all, huh? Well, you know. Depends how acidic it is. Can sting if not too bad. Oh, if you have acidic piss. Pretty good. How about you? You don't want to know the last adult conversation. Don't worry about it. It's more embarrassing for me than anything. WTF? What do you mean WTF? If you do it in the shower, you don't have to worry about the mess. Dude, what the frig? Instructions were unclear. Avi had to move out. Not your Twitch stream, lol. That got you good. Avi just sits on the toilet, pulls out her phone, and starts watching her own Twitch stream. I don't know where the pee comes from. Pretty good. Listed wasp to spread her legs. You know, a normal Monday. I don't know how to explain this. Can you look at a book? Can you look at an anatomy book? You know, there's a little nub, okay? There's a little nub and there's a little hole. And that's where the pee comes out. But it's kind of hidden. And so it doesn't have the best aiming capabilities. There's no hose. There's no nuzzle spout. There's no how do you say? There's no crosshairs to be able to aim properly. Same, yeah, seems pretty normal. This is not a regular conversation for this community. That was a +2+ joke. Everyone learns some human anatomy. Me included, apparently. Your brain in a crowd. Ugh. Just poke at it? No. It's okay, Becca. You'll keep peeing in your hand. No, you don't need to pee in your hand. You don't need to do that. This is a question you had for Project Melody lewd line if she ever does more. Oh. That I need to ask Project Melody if you could position yourself. Or are you asking me this question because Project Melody hasn't done lewd line in a while? If you could position yourself, or if someone would hold up your legs, do you think you could aim it better? What do you mean? Like peeing like a dog? Do you mean like peeing like a dog? Here's the thing. The dogs that raise their legs, guess what? Those are guy dogs. Those are male dogs. They have a wee-wee. They still have a wee-wee. That's how they aim their wee-wee, okay? By raising their leg. Now, if you are a girl dog, guess what girls' dogs do? They kind of spread their legs and squat. So that's kind of the same thing that we would have to do. We would have to spread our legs wide and possibly like somewhat squat. So it's the same thing. I don't think raising the leg will do anything. It will still just drizzle down the leg that's grounded, okay? The piss will drizzle down the leg that's grounded, even if you have one leg raised. Gravity's kind of a batch of cookies. Yes, anatomy books are real. She graduated. She should have read one. Not if she didn't take anatomy. The last stream about how dicks function was great. This is not normal conversation, guys. It's pure and innocent, I assure you. I just don't know things. / we're on a weird topic of conversation. Dixon have an eye in it. Oh my god. Your body is a weapon. All you need is... Don't forget to eat. It's so early, but also maybe I did start early. What time is it? I guess I am getting close to that 2-hour mark. But what if someone slash something held you in the air and rotated you a bit? Okay, are we talking about we're in like where here's the question. Where do I need to aim? Because that's still the same thing. Like needing to be held up. Am I trying to be utilized as a gun? Is that the question that we're being asked? Because it's still like a matter of like you have how do you say? Let's say so guys have the tube that they can aim from, right? So the end of your gun, the end of your pistol is at the end of the tube. But for girls, there's no nozzle spout. The end of the pistol is kind of like an inverted cannon. So imagine a gun, if you will. Do we need to pull out paint for this? There was one last thing I wanted to share with you guys, but I don't think we'll be able to get to it. Large paraplane.
Wait, was it not required for Yal? Was I the only person who had to take an anatomy class? Am I the only one here who knows how both types work?
It's not required. I think the options was anatomy or some bio 2 or something. Because I didn't take anatomy. Taking anatomy, I think, was... I took anatomy in my art school, but we didn't talk about the biology of things. And the anatomy for science class, I didn't take that because that was the class that required you to dissect piglets, and I didn't want to dissect piglets. Okay, anyway, let's talk about this. So, males have a gun, okay? And let's say your nozzle spout comes out of the end, okay? Now, let's imagine, if you will, hold on. Let me try to let me think about this. Where's an eraser? Eraser? Okay. Can I make the eraser bigger? No, I gotta suffer. Okay, I gotta suffer. Okay. Let's say we take Bob. Say hello, Bob. This is Bob. Bob is our gun thing, okay? So Bob kind of exists here. Right. Oh, dick. he needs this leg. Now, if Dick or Bob has a little nuzzle spout, this is his little nuzzle spout, right? And so he has like an open way right here at the edge of his gun holster, okay? Now, if we have we'll say Beth right here, and let's say Beth is also our weapon of choice, right? However, the nuzzle spout starts here, okay? So now you have all of this to contend with before you reach your victim, okay? So you have this where it's all open and, you know, all of this freedom. You have all of this freedom. Bob has all of this freedom to contend with. Beth has to make it out of this channel. Beth has to make it out of the channel before she could reach any sort of direction, okay? That's it doesn't really matter of like, you could spread the legs wide. So it kind of doesn't matter if you're being elevated or whatever. You kind of need that kind of the wide, you know, leeway so that there's more how do you say, space for mistakes. Okay? Bob has infinite space for mistakes. Beth still needs to widen the canal to make a little bit more mistakes. Yeah, and the physics. All of this science. This is all science, guys. This is all the science. How do I get rid of this? How do I clear this? How do I clear screen?
Oh, TK.
How do I clear the screen? How do I make Bob and Beth go away? Select everything. There we go. Where am I? Where did I last leave off at? If you rotated you a bit, yeah. So it doesn't matter what orientation you are. You need to have more. How do you say? You need to have more leeway for your bullets. Your body is a machine that turns not piss into piss. Indeed, helicopter Becco piss. Still the toilet. Wait, was it not required? No, it wasn't. Why are we weaponizing pee? We're not. We're just trying to understand the margin of error, as it would be. The margin of error for pissers, and different pisser kinds. I think so. We do science for 3 years, and it's split between biology, chemistry, and physics. Never did more than that. Yeah, for I think, was it chemistry? It was either chemistry or physics or something, and then the alternative was anatomy, and I didn't do the anatomy because I didn't want to dissect baby piglets. We had to do the pig dissection in like sophomore year of high school. It was terrible. It smells really badly every time it's that time of year. Becca doing urological logistics. Nice cut. Bob is a minotaur, 90% human, 10% horse. You had to do chemistry, biology, green science. What's green science? Anatomy, physical wellness, and mental wellness. Yo, that all sounds very helpful, actually. Physical and mental wellness. And then green. What is green science? Is that like plants? And physics. Hi, Spaz! Don't worry about it. We're just explaining science. Wait. Also, Spaz, congratulations on surviving 19 months. In summary, there is a tissue in the way of allowing the pee to get out. Yes. If you want to aim,
Ads
you
are
have more
dropping in
nuzzle
2
spout
minutes.
versus try to imagine aiming a gun. Let's say you have a gun and you aim it and then it shoots where you want it. Okay. And let's say let's think about it this way. Do I bring out the let's think about it this way. When you have oops, I need paint. Okay. You have your gun. Okay. Let's say this is a gun. And let's say this is the chamber and the bullet starts here. And you have this part is hollow, right? For guys, this is your dick. And so technically all of this is filled with piss. And then right here at the exit point you have all this freedom. For women instead, Instead, treat the walls of the gun, because we don't have the nuzzle spout, the walls of the gun is like her legs. So imagine it like that. So you have the exit point is right here, and all of the margin of error is the legs. Because the nuzzle spout is so short compared to a long range rifle that guys have.
Level up.
Hi. Hi, Freakachan. Hello, thank you so much for the follow. With every level I go stronger. Thank you, thank you. Beth needs more spread. Exactly, Beth needs more spread. It censors Spaz's name. What do you mean it censors Spaz's name? Where? In which? The chat or where? That's a UK censor? It's culturally... Oh! Really? Which one is doing that? Which one is doing that? I like that it threw the police box at me too. Those poor souls. We dissected squids and sharks when you were in 8th grade. Yo, that's kind of sick. Our shark had a dead shrimp in its mouth. Oh my god, that's kind of crazy.
ADSR running for 180 seconds.
Green Science by B Agriculture Science. Oh. Okay. That's a faucet. Yeah. Flintlock pistol. Yeah. You guys get it. Hi, Zombie Fox. How are you doing? Women all have powder burns on their thighs. Yes! Perfectly! Exactly! The powder burns. You have the margin of error. All of the gunk and stuff on the sides of the walls of the... I don't even know what the name of the side of the gun is. Like, the nozzle of the gun, okay? Huh? The nozzle of the gun. Your legs are the nozzle of the gun, Avi. Thank you for the informative information. Yeah. So, you can rotate however you want. But, listen, you gotta spread them legs. You gotta spread them legs. In terms of aiming, there's no left or right. You could kind of rotate, but, like, then you run into the error of, like, the legs, right? You run into the issues of you're gonna just hit your legs if you rotate left or right, or try to. The most you can hope for is up and down, at the very least. But, yeah, it's not the best. Green Science is the whole process and impact of manufacturing, cradle to the grave. It's actually taught you that clean energy is actually very dirty. A lot goes into it with very little recyclability, especially EV cars. Oh, that's very unfortunate. You were not aware of that when you picked this name many years ago. It was inspired by a line from the SpongeBob movie. Really? Where is it censoring, Spaz? Where is it? Where is it? Which chat is it? Is it like it still read wait, where is it? I don't know where it's doing it. Hydroelectric dams are so carbon intensive. Oof. Oof, mega oof. Ah! Oh my god, help. Help. Ouch. Ow. It's crazy. Beko Urology 101 complete. Stay tuned for course 102.
KJ Sintisang has deemed it necessary to water the cat.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the hydration station. Trying to look. Where's... When the old lady called him a knucklehead, Mixpazatron. Ah! I haven't seen the movie. Let's see. What else happened? Moving right along. What else happened over the last weekends? We eventually got adopted. After missing the ride after missing the ride, we thought our day was ruined. We thought, well, that's it. There's no reason to go back to the hotel to meet up with other scooterists. They're most likely not going to be there. We didn't want to do the late night DJ partying things and whatnot because we're too socially awkward. And so we were like, I guess it might be time to retire and go home, maybe. And to try to cheer up Nero, I was just like, hey, you want to check out the scooter shop that's in the area? I know, let's go check out. And she's like, yeah! She's like, yeah, I want to see a full-blown, like, scooter shop. So I took her to the scooter shop and we checked it out a little bit, showed her a little bit of the scooters. They actually had a lot less there than last time I saw it. So that was kind of interesting. And I don't know, we asked questions, we looked at some of the scooters that were in the shop, and then a group of like elderly people show up. They rock up to the shop and they show up, they take a look around. They loved our boots because both Nira and I use platform boots to ride our scooters, and one of the women was like shorter than both of us. She was a tiny little lady, and she was just like telling us how she had to custom request putting lifts in her shoes. She has lifts in her shoes, and that cost her like the same amount as it cost like us to have our platform boots, and her lifts were only like an inch, and our platforms were like 4 inches plus, right? And she's just like, I need that to be able to ride the scooter. She's like, we've tried everything. She's not able to ride the scooter because she's so tiny. She's super duper 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 tiny. And oh, I see. Okay. So they kind of bonded with us. We talked a little bit. They asked like what our plans were, what we were doing, where we come from, and we told them about missing out on the scooter ride, that they left us and they abandoned us, and they were like, "Oh no!" They're like, "Man, these locals, blah blah blah, freaking." We found out later that apparently the scooter ride left a whopping 3 minutes earlier than they should have, than they were supposed to. They left too early, supposedly, but it was fine. And so like this group of elderly people were so nice. They were like, if you want, we're gonna go to the Rose Gardens. You want to ride together? Like, we can make a ride of our own. Let's make our own ride. And we're like, yeah. And so we rode to the Rose Gardens with them, and that was so fun. And they were so nice, and they like took care of us, and they were like, you're gonna ride after us so that we make sure that you're okay and you don't get left behind. And the 3 other people rode behind us, and they were just so attentive to us. And the Rose Garden was all in bloom, and the roses were so massive and huge. Friggin' Nero and I kept running from friggin' rose to rose, checking them out. Hi KJ, hope you're doing well. Adventure touching grass and riding Sasha. It was super fun. It was super duper fun. Hello KJ. Understandable, it came out in like 2004. Check the GibGab, get her a smaller scooter. I don't think they have smaller scooters. You like talking to elderly people? They were so nice, and they pretty much adopted us for the rest of the weekend. So like during the banquet, we needed a place, like we needed to pick a table to sit at, and we were so like awkward because we didn't really talk to anybody else, right? We didn't really get a chance to socialize with anybody. Everybody that was there was pretty late in the years, right? They were all fairly pretty late in the years, and even Nira was saying that she thinks that we might have been the youngest ones there. We might have been like the youngest ones there. And it was I don't know, it was really weird because everybody, I don't know what they talk about. They talk about scooters, of course, but like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know too much about scooters. Nero knows a lot more. She's the tech head. She's amazing. She's like beautifully like knowledgeable about scooters. I'm still in the learning process. of like Unga Bunga, this goes vroom vroom. I'm freaking a meathead when it comes to scooters. But she's able to like look at a scooter and be like, that's factory, that's default, that's aftermarket. This fender is not default, yada yada. She's got like a good eye for that. I'm still trying to understand Sasha's anatomy. Most are quite nice. Yeah, we sat at their table during the banquet and they like asked us a bunch of questions and they pretty much adopted us. Even like before the banquet, they saw that we were eating by ourselves after the rally. And we were just chilling. Everybody had already left, and one of them had walked up to us and was like, "Hey, are you guys okay? Like, do you have any plans for the rest of the day before the banquet? Like, you're showing up to the banquet, right?" And we're like, "Yeah." Right now, our plan was, the plan was to eat a snack, and then we were gonna figure out where to go to kill time before the banquet. And then she was just like, "Well, we're gonna ride up to this house, this historical house, so blah blah blah," and then we were going to do this and blah 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 before the banquet. But also I do highly recommend you go to like Numa something. It was like Numa something falls. She's like, it's really beautiful, it's a really great site, blah 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 blah. And we're like, we want to go to these falls, yeah. But it's just like how attentive she was. That's like, it was so great that they kept checking up on us and making sure that we were okay and having a good time. We were like such babies. We were such babies of the entire event. Super shy and everything. And I felt bad because there were some guys that were like trying to talk to me specifically because they recognized me from some of the local rides. But that was when I was also trying to set up the live stream, so I was so absorbed in like trying to set up all the tech and like my wiring and stuff. So like they were having a conversation with me and I'm like, yeah, like I was just responding, but I wasn't making conversation. I was just answering questions and then like had my face in my wires and cables, right? And you're like, I felt so bad, but also I was just like, I want to get this working, sort of thing. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm setting stuff up, you know. But yeah, I don't know. Nero and I are just super awkward. We're super shy and we're super awkward. God bless the fact that we somehow made a connection with one another and we're like scooter buddies, right? God bless that we somehow made a connection with one another by checking each other's scooters out, you know. Goddamn. Again, you two do just about anything for awesome ladies like you and scooters. Oh. Becca and Nero have joined a scooter clique. Unfortunately, they're like not local to our area. They're like super far, but it kind of makes me want to go down to their area. They want to keep in touch, but none of them uses Instagram. They use Facebook. And it's like, ugh, Facebook. Ugh. We're like, do you use Instagram? We're on Instagram more. Time to get Becca 2 anatomy books. One for scooters and one for people. I need a scooter anatomy book. You know the feeling of being the youngin at an event? Your town does an annual all-class reunion for the local high school and your friend and you checked it out one year and everyone else was a fair bit older than you. Ooh, it's weird. Nura and I started plotting. We're like, we gotta get more youth into scooters. We gotta show off like having super custom scooters decorated and things like that, and that'll get people into scooters. Having them all snazzy, fashionable, getting them custom and tricked out and things like that. Gotta get more youth into it. How do we indoctrinate people? We gotta show them more like the Honda anime and Fooly Cooly and stuff like that. Any other, I need more like scooter anime to like indoctrinate people with. 2 lost kittens, I will care for them. Mia every job and gathering, yeah. You'd be even more awkward. Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, same thing really. Facebook is like, I don't know. I only use Facebook for like work because work uses Facebook a lot. And even then, I tell them I refuse to use Facebook because I don't know how to use it. And so, like, the only times I ever use Facebook is if I get super extremely bored and I want to check out what local events are around in my area. And so I use Facebook events. That's literally the only thing that I use on Facebook, is using Facebook events and checking out what interesting things are going on in my area. And that's it. That's about it. The lady you worked with at a hatchery always rode her scooter to work and lunch and stuff. You use it for the marketplace? I don't use it for the marketplace as much, but I probably should. I know Rianari uses the marketplace a lot. Anyway. But yeah, we met the group. They were super nice and friendly. They were so sweet. We love them. I kind of want to do a trip going down to their area and, you know, saying hi and doing more rides with them. I need to check where their scooter shop
Level
is.
up.
I don't know where their scooter shop is. I need to look that up. Timmy! Hada hada! Thank you so much for the follow. With every level, I go stronger. Thank you, thank you. Hello there. Hello. Hello. Oh, one last thing I wanted to cover before I end stream. Where is it? Cooking cab. So they gave us... I'm like covering my kitchen table with a blanket right now because I have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of like stuff on my table and I'm too lazy to clean it up right now.
Level up.
So we have to deal with it right here. Primal Genesis Cujo. Hara hara. Thank you so much for the follow. With every level I go stronger. Thank you, thank you. Ignore the feet blanket. So are we talking about bikes? We're specifically talking about scooters. What kind of bike do you ride? I used to have, in terms of bikes, like motorcycles, I used to have a Kawasaki Ninja 250, but then I had a long time ago in another universe or whatever, I had an ex that completely destroyed it, crashed on it, and it got obliterated. So then I got traumatized and I no longer have a Kawasaki Ninja 250, and I didn't get back into sports bikes at all or anything. So now I have a Primavera Vespa scooter, and that's my ride. However, I'm kind of eyeballing a Honda Super Cub, and I really want a Honda Super Cub, but it's kind of sold out literally every knucking where in my area. Well, that's fun. Yeah, I know. Traumatizing. But, you know. So, they gave us this kit. Right here. I'm gonna move over. Let me move over. There's something specific about this kit. If I can just move over to my kitchen table ever so slightly. You're just a mechanic, so you build and work on everything? That's amazing! I want to learn all the ins and out of my bikes. Like, I wanna learn how to, like, fix my bike and all the maintenance and understanding it, because I want to like love and care for my bike. I want to know all of the necessary TLCs for it, but I'm also a very hands-on person, so like I need to learn by doing it. So every time I take Sasha in, that's the name of my bike, every time I take Sasha in for any of her maintenance, I always ask the staff and the mechanic and everything if I can help with the process so that I could see all the ins and outs of it. And they let me. They're super sweet. They let me like dissect her, take her apart, and he's so nice. The mechanic is super sweet, and like he's always like in instruction mode. He like starts teaching me and like instructing me and telling me what things are used for. But I'm still learning. I think it'll still take a while for me to learn. You have a Vespa? What model? A Primavera 150 color Vibe. The white version. First thing she did was snap an M6 installing a rack. It's on the video at the shop with the tech laughing at her. He said that he didn't think I'd be strong enough. He said it'd be fine, and he kept telling me to crank it, and I kept looking at him like, are you sure? And then I snapped the bolt right off. That's funny. Gah. He kept telling me it was okay. They gave me this kit. there's one specific thing in here that I have big questions about, okay? So this kit is filled with like it's got a program book, right? It's got a little notepad thing, paper, advertisement for another scooter group. It's got this do-rag which I'll probably put under the seat. It's got this metal, it's just like a metal badge that I don't know what to do with, but I'll figure it out. And then it's got a bunch of like patches and a bunch of stickers, right? So we've got a bunch of patches and then a bunch of stickers. And then we got this thing. Was there anything else? Oh, we got this thing. We didn't know what this thing was. It took us like a couple of days to figure out what this thing was, right? We now know what it is. This is like an extender for your helmet to like hook onto your seat, which Nero needs because her strap is really short. I technically don't need it, but you know, this is nice to have. Yeah. And then I saw this and I was really confused. This comes in a plastic bag. This comes in a plastic Ziploc bag. There's like a coupon on here. I'm like, okay, it's a coupon. That's great. For something, and I don't know what it is for. And then like I see this sticker and I'm staring at the sticker and I'm like, I think this is for a scooter club. It's called Two Stroke Smoke. And I'm like, okay, right? And I'm staring at the sticker and I'm looking at the background. And I'm like, wait, it's got the funny little leaves. It's got the funny little leaves. It's what does this say? It says this icon right here says like homegrown. I'm like, oh, it's the funny little leaves. But wait, is this a scooter club or what is this? I actually really don't know. What is this? It just says 2 Stroke, private stash, Chalice Farms. Okay, I don't understand. I don't understand this. But what also confuses me, right, is that this Ziploc bag comes with this thing. This Ziploc bag comes with this. Okay? I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. It's got flavors on it. And then it's like little gummies. Right? But if you look at it, it says, can I get a good image of what it says? I'm like trying to hold it while look at the camera. So it says, cannabinoid free. So I'm like, cannabinoid free? Does that mean it's not cannabinoid? But the wording is also weird. And I see that there's a hyphen. And I'm like, oh god, is this cannabinoid hyphen? It's a free sample of a cannabinoid. I'm like, wait, did these kids give me? Is it a thingy? I don't know what this is. Flavor Verozon? Hold on. Nice, it's a stoner scooter club. That's weird. I'm like, was I just given of the weed? It's an edible. This is an edible. THC. It's just candy. Is this just candy or is this gonna make me funny? I need to know because I've never touched any of this stuff. Is this gonna make me weird? Is this gonna be weird? Becco joined a stoner club. Becco is a stoner. Me Asian judging hard. I've never done anything like this. So that's why I'm wondering, like, is this just a gummy? Is this just a gummy or is this gonna make me weird? They gave you weed, yes. Vurion. Is that what it's called? It might be an adjacent compound that's legal with similar effects. Probably make you funny. Do it on stream. Oh god, one way to find out, just make sure you have a free day when you do. Check their site, yeah. I might have to check this later. I'm obviously not gonna do it right now, because I'm gonna be ending stream. But this is something that I guess we'll hold on to. I don't know if there's an expiration date. Is there an expiration date? There doesn't seem to be an expiration date on here. But we'll hold on to that, I guess. It's cannabis, Becco? Does cannabis expire? I don't know. I don't know anything about cannabis. No one can. Don't worry. What do you mean? Becco, too pure for wacky tobacco. I've never gone into like that. I told you the extents of my is it drug culture. The extent of my drugs is just alcohol. That's it. And even then, I'm too baby to understand alcohol. I just get given alcohol and I'm like, okay, down the hatch. But I don't know the difference between, you guys have to like explain to me between like whiskey and what is dry and what is my boss drink? Bourbon. You guys are always explaining that to me. Just give it to Gah. Cannabis is the stoners. Belle will gladly take it off my hands. I know Belle will gladly take it off my hands. You love the alcohol? Alcohol do funny things, man. Alcohol do funny things. Anyway, I am slowly losing my voice, and I've been here for a fairly long time, and it's about that time to feed before Mogwai hours. Sell it to him, actually? How much does it go for? How much does it go for? I was like sitting there with Nero. I'm like, is this what I think it is? And we were both sitting there like kind of like contemplating, would they actually hand something like that out? Like, is that something that people just casually do? We both did not know. Good night. Alcohol makes you relax. Okay. Been drinking your whole life. I'm too baby for that. Oops. I just get given alcohol. Becco 2025. I just get given alcohol. I'm economic. I don't need a lot. I just need one, and then that's it. That's about it. Have a lovely night. Thank you. I'll see you guys tomorrow if possible. I don't know if I'll stream Wednesday, just because I'm probably gonna stress pack again, since that's like the day before Offkai. So you can expect a stream tomorrow, but probably not Wednesday. And I'm also still debating whether or not I bring my IRL stream kit to Offkai. I don't know if I'm gonna be too busy. I don't know if I'll be too busy or not. Part of me was half debating like bringing the IRL stream kit, but having it just be a stationary camera, kind of like a fly on the wall, and just like have an oversee of the booth. But so that you guys can kind of like lurk, you know, kind of like those animal farm streams where you just kind of see the farm animals and you can watch them passively. Part of me was debating doing that with the booth, but not sure if that's something that you guys would be interested in. Ooh, Offkai, yeah. Thank you for the stream. You'd say leave it, just take pictures. You sure that's enough for you guys? Offkai is coming up. Didn't know that, honestly. Yeah, Offkai is literally this week, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. A panic mode ensues. Yeah. Okay, I'll try to take a crap ton of pictures for you guys. It definitely would lighten the load. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye!